Hi there, my name is Natalie Rial, and you might know me as Nazana Nanakuza from Call of the Night and Kana Arima from Oshinoko.
I'm Osiris from Anime Social Nexus, and we're here with Natalie. So we have a few questions, just a little back and forth to let you guys know some of the things that the fans have been asking and wondering. So first off, fans want to know, which of your characters do fans ask you to voice the most? Whenever they see you and they speak to you, who they want to hear?
The one that I get asked for the most is probably going to be Kana from Oshinoko. I feel like a lot of people really resonate with her as a character, and they've dealt with a lot of things that she's gone through. I connect with her the same way. So people come and talk to me about her, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great show, and people seem to really love her, and I'm glad because I adore her.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So on the same principle, what is one of the characters you've played that you weren't expecting people to resonate with so quickly or so strongly?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I get the typical, I get the Kana, I get the Nazana, I get things like that. Kokoro from Bang Dream. It doesn't happen very often, but when they do and they come in, they talk about how much Kokoro has helped them. You know, I didn't know Bang Dream was as big as it was, and it had blown up so much. So when people come and talk to me about her, it always catches me off guard a little bit, and I get really excited to talk about her. I'm glad people resonate with her because she's very happy all the time, and I love to see that people are also very happy.
Great energy. You give that same great energy.
Thank you so much.
What's one of the characters you've played that you feel like should have more notice?
Oh, Yayoi from Dark Gathering.
Oh.
Dark Gathering is such a cool show. It's like Pokemon, but with ghosts.
Really?
So she catches all of her ghosts in plushies and then uses them to fight other ghosts. And it's a little dark, it's a little creepy, it's a little funny. It's an incredible show. It's so underhyped, and it deserves all of the love. I get to do that show with my best friend in the world, Carly Hoke. She plays my cousin in that show. It is a phenomenal show, and I think more people should know about it.
Hopefully the indie developers in there make a game on that, because I definitely will play
that
it.
Would be so cool.
So cool. So where do you draw your personal inspiration from when you're doing your voices?
So it depends on the character. You know, I've been through a lot in my life. I'm almost 30 now, and I've experienced a lot. I like to take a lot from my own personal life and bring it into my roles. Kana in particular, her and I have gone through a lot of similar struggles in life. We've dealt with a lot of the same mental hurdles and things like that. So with her, honestly, being in the booth, it doesn't even feel like acting. It feels like being authentically me. Nazana, on the other hand, is like me, but in an opposite way. You know, I make a lot of dirty jokes. I'm a very crass person. And she's very much like that. And then both of us also don't know how to deal with people, you know, having crushes on us or the word love, things like that. I struggle with that, and she does too. So a lot of that I you know, back and forth flip-flop with too. I'm currently working on a show called The Sword of the Demon Hunter.
Okay.
And the last episode of the season has some really heavy topics. So on the flip side, I had to pull from some really traumatic things that happened to me in my life.
Wow.
And actually ended that day like full on crying in the booth because I was dealing with such strong emotions.
Does that happen often?
It does. You know, I'm also kind of a crybaby, so I cry a whole lot.
Most of us are.
My director, Shannon D. Reed, can attest to this. I've cried in the booth so many times with him. But I like to pull a lot from my personal experiences to try and make my my acting as authentic and as real feeling as possible.
So would you say that's one of the more challenging parts?
100%. It's, you know, you leave the booth dealing with whatever emotions you pulled from while you're in the studio. So there are days when I would play Kokoro, I'd leave the booth and I was the happiest I had been in a long time. I'd go home and I'd be like, "Hi, honey, I'm home. How are you?" And be very excited. And then there was the day that I recorded the last episode for Sword of the Demon Hunter. I didn't talk for the rest of the night. I got home, I showered, and I went to bed.
Wow.
So it really, it can be a blessing or it can be a curse depending on what you're working on that day.
Wow, that's beautiful. So one last question. We want to know, what is a embarrassing misread or blooper that you might have had behind the scenes? Something memorable.
It happens a lot. You would think for someone who has to read and talk while I'm doing it all the time that I'd be really good at it. I'm not. I'm terrible with Japanese names. So we probably do like 12 different takes trying to get me to say the name right at any given time. whenever I do what's called a flub in the booth, so whenever I mess up a line, instead of trying to fix it or redo the line, I typically just stop and I go, bleh. So there's actually a folder. My engineer at Sentai has a folder of me just going blah blah blah. And then in Call of the Night, I threw this in myself because I think I'm funny. There's a moment where Nazuna just kind of vanishes out a window, and I leaned into the microphone and I went, I'm the man. And Shannon went, no, Natalie, we can't do that. So there's quite a few. It's been fun.
That's awesome. So that's all we have for today. If you want to shout out any socials or anywhere people can look for you up,
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Natalie Rial or on Instagram at Natalie_keeping_it_real.
All right, guys. Well, that's all. I'm Osiris from Anime Social Nexus. Catch you in the next one.